What's up? I'm Al Cox, and I spend all day, every day, making games, playing games, day in Buildbox, but going over the top keyboard shortcut that I use every single day. First and most important, Command S. Save. Save, save, save. Buildbox still does crash, and literally lost like a few hours work yesterday. So this still happens to me, and that's why it's number one. Number one is Command S. You want to always save. It takes a little longer to save sometimes, or you know what, maybe, okay, I'm going to save it. But it's the most important because nothing sucks more than figuring out a solution, having it work, forgetting to save, and then trying to recreate that and it doesn't work. I'm not bitter with it. I take it as a learning experience, but that's why number one is Command S. Okay, the second one is Spacebar. When you're in there making games and you're zooming it in and out, and sometimes I'm trying to get really close attention to detail, looking at it and trying to make something just like the perfect pixel, Spacebar holds it down. You can get your attention to detail and move as close as possible. The next is Shift. You couldn't tell, but I was actually holding Shift then. The great thing about Shift is it keeps everything on track. So like here you can see that right now that these are aligned and I'm holding Shift. If I don't hold Shift, like it can just come loose. This is a common tool in both Photoshop and Illustrator, but if you've never used it, then this is a game changer. This helps keep everything in line when things seem very difficult. It just takes a little bit of precision and then boom. This works for all objects and actions and items. If I wanted to take these two enemy objects and move them, but just move them up or down, they stay aligned. Without Shift, I would move down and be off a little bit, and then if it's off a little bit, then it's hitting my character and my character is dying, and that's not what I want. The next one, very important when trying to figure out where different objects are located, and that's the command Squiggly open and close brackets. By doing what this does is it actually, if you look over here, right there, it'll actually take the object and move it down a layer or up a layer, depending on which way you're pressing it. This is important because when you're trying to figure out where items are on your scene, you'll have many different layers. Some things will be in front, some things will be behind, and all you want to do is just see where it is or move it behind. In this case, I actually want the enemy behind the wall because when it shoots up, I want you to not see it until it's too late. By doing that, I just move it all the way down. I'm actually pressing and holding to move it down quickly. And there, now I know the object's there, it's safe, it's working as I had intended. So that's the shortcut to move objects, figure out where they are on the scene. This new shortcut is really cool and I just learned about it yesterday. I'd seen it before in a video, but that was probably 6 months ago and I had forgotten about it. It is Command right click. So just as I put that enemy object behind, if I go to select it here, I actually have multiple objects. Right now I only want the enemy object and I can't select the enemy object. I can go over here, but look at this is a mess. Where is that enemy object? So what you can do is you can take the mouse, hold command, right click, and look, what it does is it shows you every object that is located behind the mouse clicker of where you just click. And here it is, red 08. So now I can click it. Let me go ahead and move it up front, and perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. This one's super powerful because when you start just making levels and just going at it, you will see this. You will try to click on a specific object and you can't. A good example of having issues with clicking on objects is here. Here I have light and path. For whatever reason, light and path want to be clicked on all the time. So if I'm just trying to click on this guy over here, it's making me select the path. But if I hit command right click, then I can just click on this blue square and I'm good to go. My next favorite shortcut key is the option button. Now what the option button does, it actually turns on the activate connection mode. So instead of pressing this button on and off, what I do is I just hold down the option button. Hold down the option button and then you can actually just start connecting from here when you're connecting objects together. Objects are actions and then they're all stuck together. Another amazing feature with this is if I just want to move this object right here up in a similar position as this enemy. Instead of pressing it, selecting it, deleting it, moving it up, what I can do is I can actually select the item, okay, so now I've selected, I'm holding on to the left mouse, and now when I press the option and move up, you see that? It moves on its own and it does not affect the other enemy objects. And yet I can still add connections here like so. And it still works if I tap this one and I have never let go of the option key. I can press it and move it over here. Here you can see the separate platform that was below it, and let me go ahead and move it back. I find that this is very useful when you're zooming in and you just want to get here. I'm going to do this. I take the platform behind it, and I can actually just set it like here, and then I know it's in the middle of the other object. So if you are putting objects on top of objects, which you will, and you want them to all be centered, this is a quick and easy way to just get everything aligned properly. You can also, of course, use the XY coordinates, but if you're just moving things around, this is how I do it. Lastly, I use Control 1, 2, and 3. I'm sure you've downloaded the Buildbox manual. I know I have at least 4 copies on my computer. Here is a list of all the shortcuts. There's platform, physics object, enemy, enemy bullet, character bullet, decoration, and wheel. Honestly, I'll just stick to the first 3 for the most part. Eventually, maybe I'll work my way up, but I find myself needing a platform or an enemy object all the time, or changing something to a physics object. So here we have, this is a decoration fix. Let's say I want this to be an enemy bullet. Command 1 is platform, 2 is physics object, and 3 is enemy. This one I want to be an enemy. Command 1, this one I want to be a fixed platform, and command 2, this one I want to be a physics object. Now the amount of time you save from just moving the mouse over here adds up. And so that is why I have become accustomed to incorporating not only this shortcut, but all the shortcuts, because if you can move faster within Buildbox, I mean, you can create faster, you can make something faster, and why not? It just starts with 1 button, and then it's 2 buttons. So I strongly suggest utilizing whichever shortcuts work for you. Review that Buildbox manual. These are all the ones that I try to use every single day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.